What is up, my dudes? We've got the Corporate Esports Association Dota 2 Spring 2019 tournament going on. Today we've got Google Team Burninate representing Google up against Dota Bros Inc., who I believe is HP Dota, and we're in the playoffs now, so a few rule changes. It's a best of 3, you can see by these two icon type things. So it's a best of 3, and the loser of this best of 3 series will be out of the tournament. So we're in the end game now, as Dr. Strange would say. So this is the round of 32. It's the first round of the playoffs, but there are only 21 teams, so most of the teams do have a bye this week. This game was being played 2 weeks ago now, so it's also going to be on 7.21D and not 7.22, so a bit of an older meta coming out here. Hopefully, I've only got a few more games of this round, and then we're into the next patch, and that should be pretty exciting. Gonna see a lot of memes come up because it's gonna be a fresh new patch, a lot of new Aghanim Scepter upgrades added, and some heroes changed. So definitely gonna see a very different draft to what we've been seeing for the rest of this league, and we'll have to see how the teams adapt to this, because you can't just pick Drow Ranger anymore. She's still a very good hero, but not the first pick material that she is in this patch. So let's hop into the draft. We've got Doom and Leshrac banned for Team Burninate. Two pretty strong heroes in this patch. I think Leshrac is definitely came up towards the end of the patch, where he did get nerfed a little bit actually. After 7.21C with the edict, but people just started playing him in mid, and Sumail just destroyed people with it. And from Dota Bros Inc., we've got a CK ban, and they're thinking pretty hard about this this first ban phase, banning the Spectre as well in the first phase. I feel like Chaos Knight could definitely be first phaseable. If you have heroes, you can play him in both the off lane and the safe lane. Is a little bit flexible in that regard. And Sniper banned out for Team Burninate, another hero you don't see too often. They don't have the last pick, so they're not going to get blindsided by a sniper pick. Oh, they can get blindsided by a sniper pick, but it's usually way at the end of the draft, so a little bit of an early ban, a bit confusing coming out of Team Burninate.
10 seconds to pick. 5 seconds remain.
And HP Dota going into reserve time again. They're going to ban Lifestealer. I think Lifestealer has definitely fallen off. It was all the rage at the start of 7.21, but repeated nerfs to the rage cooldown went up by 2 seconds. Midas got nerfed from like 220 gold per cast to 160, so a pretty big nerf for Midas. And Lifestealer is kind of fallen a bit flat. It takes a little bit too long to get online. You really got to get that Midas Radiance. You can go for Armlet and try and fight early, but then you end up falling behind in farm because you have a good way to farm. So Team Burninate, they open up with Drow Ranger. This is pretty normal for 7.21D. This hero is absolutely absurd. So they did nerf Drow Ranger a lot in the next patch, as she can no longer insta-kill Ancients with the marksmanship, which is pretty devastating loss to her. And the other thing is now you can actually itemize against her. The marksmanship shots, they pierce armor in this patch, but in the next patch they only pierce base armor. So that's the armor you start off with plus any armor you get from agility. So you can actually buy a plate mail and be can deal with this Drow Ranger a little bit better. And I mean, the solution would now be just to buy a bunch of phase boots on your team. You get that nice juicy +6 armor from the phase boots. Shadow Shaman opening up for Dota Bros Inc. I don't think Shadow Shaman got any changes in the next patch, so still a pretty strong hero. May see him in the next round.
5 seconds. Hurry, hurry.
This meta's getting a little bit stale. They did increase the mana cost for Ether Shock. Not by much. So Disruptor picked up for Dota Bros Inc. They're revealing the support duo early on. It's not too bad. They have the push, they've got catch. You can't really run away from Disruptor, but Google Team Burninate, they're probably just going to go for a Death Ball and not want to back off. So they pick Venge as their next support, so nice way to buff the Drow Ranger's damage, give her the damage aura from the Vengeance aura, and also a swap to save the Drow in case she gets glimpsed back in, or he's just like caught out in the first place. The Shadow Shaman can't really jump on top of the Drow Ranger either. He's just gonna get instantly blown up. You can get gusted and then feels bad. That being said, can just get the Blink Hex, I suppose. But before the Blink on Shadow Shaman, he won't be able to get close to this Drow Ranger. If the moment he steps within range for a Hex, he's just going to get gusted and probably Frost Arrowed to death. Naga Siren banned out from Team Burninate. I think Naga is still a bit of a sleeper hero. She's strong, but I don't know. Her power spike is a little bit odd, because the big bulk of her damage now comes from when you get Diffusal Blade, but you still don't really have enough HP. It's much like the PL problem. You still don't really have the HP to run into the fights, and you really do need a Manta Style on Naga as well. So they're just gonna ban all the illusion heroes. A little bit odd, I think, because they still have like their other support and their offlaner open. So and also Drow Ranger can always build an Aghanim Center to deal with these illusions. So they do have options. It's a little bit odd that they banned. They're so focused on these illusion bans, but we'll see what Team Burninate has in mind. Maybe you're gonna focus on get some more single target focused heroes now. Now that these two illusion heroes are out of the pool. Luna and Dusa banned out for Dota Bros Inc. I think Dusa makes a lot of sense. Drow Dusa is a pretty scary matchup to go like duo to go up against. The Dusa just gets so much extra DPS from the Drow Ranger. Luna, on the other hand, I think is probably not that great with the Drow. You'd have to be forced to put the Drow mid, which is it's a bit of a double-edged sword. What Drow wants to do is once she hits level 6, she wants to just leave the lane, go to the jungle for 15 minutes, and come out as a demigod. But if you do that as the mid Drow, you're going to hit level 6 by the 5-minute mark, and then you're going to have to send someone to go mid to soak up the experience and make sure that the lane can... you don't lose the tower too quickly. And there's not too many supports that can do that. Venge is certainly not one of those supports. And the other thing is now you have to leave like either your safe laner or your off laner alone. So you definitely can't leave Luna alone. She is very bad in the laning phase. She's actually just very bad for the first like 30 minutes of the game. So also when you pick Luna, you always want a defensive tri-lane because you get that bonus from the Luna Blessing. So Axe, in response to from Dota Bros Inc., gonna put some pressure on the Drow Ranger early on, but it's pretty tough for Axe still. Drow, I feel like she got a pretty decent strength buff since she came into prominence. So you can definitely tank these battle hunger is a lot easier. Also her like attack animation is a lot better, her attack speed is a lot higher than it used to be at level 1, so it's much easier to get last hits as well. It was definitely like a big problem before Drow got like all her massive buffs. So Undying in response, they picked out Undying pretty fast, so definitely had that queued up already, and pretty sure where this Undying is gonna go. I feel like position 5 Undying is a little bit rough these days ever since they moved the Tombstone on Death Talent to level 20 from level 15, and if you're a support position 5, you're not gonna get to level 20 in most games. It's a pipe dream for you. So maybe you're gonna see offlane Undying, but even then Drow and Undying is a pretty scary support lane duo to go up against. Dota Bros Inc. gonna have a Skywrath Mage, so I think this is gonna be their mid. Mid Sky, a lot of burst damage. It should be pretty nice against the Drow. She's gonna be forced to get an early force stuff to try and get out of these Atos Mystic Flare setups, but they still have the Venge to swap people out, so it's a bit tough. They're kind of lacking in lockdown. Or at least like pre-blink lockdown. They've got the Shadow Shaman, the Axe is nice, but Shadow Shaman, his spells are pretty low ranged, and Axe, he's very low range. He's got to get a Blink Dagger, but we'll see how successful this Axe is able to lane. If he has a bad lane, I think this is going to be super rough for Dota Bros Inc. Ogre Magi for Team Burninate as well. Not a hero we see very much at all. He did get some meme factor when they made multicast work with items, but this honestly, like on a support ogre, there's not that many items you can buy that are that effective that you want to multicast them. Maybe actually I'm not sure if you can multicast and it only consumes one charge. It's probably something that you need a lab, but maybe it just doesn't work with earn at all because it's a charge based item. Not really sure about that one, but Ogre, we don't really see him too much. He's definitely fallen off from his heyday where he was just destroying everyone in the off lane. It's usually back when there was a solo off lane, a defensive tri lane type thing, or like a dual mid, dual safe lane, and then a solo off lane. Ogre can definitely 1v1 most heroes in the laning phase. Got 8 armor and like 5 regens, pretty ridiculous. But we don't see him too much anymore. It's a nice extra bit of stun, some attacks and move speed for the Dry Ranger to buffer up a little bit more. Maybe this Undying will be the offlaner. He's going to buy the aura items for his team. It seems like the most reasonable right now. So now they just need to pick a support, mid, sorry, who can go up against Skywrath. Dota Bros Inc. They banned the Silencer. I think this is pretty smart. Silencer is generally not a good hero, but I think in the mid lane he can definitely still work out. This boy does a lot of damage, and I think his attack speed went up by 15 in the next patch, but he is still pretty strong in this patch for the mid lane. Silencer. Yeah, that's literally all he got was a 15 base attack speed increase. But against Skywrath, it's pretty strong. He can just always use the Arcane Curse, and Skywrath is forced to back off. I mean, there's a lot of heroes that can do well against Skywrath. TA is still on the table. It'll fit in really well with their strategy. They've got a lot of physical damage already, and the Venge with the minus armor and the Meld Strike would completely destroy all of the heroes on Dota Bros Inc. right now. Axe doesn't have a whole lot of armor himself unless he's in the call, so TA would be perfect here. They're gonna go with Dragonite instead, just trying to out-sustain the Skywrath Mage's harass with the the Dragon Blood. It's also not too bad with the Dry Ranger either. You get the attack speed aura when you're in the DK form, and the Venge will help him buffer up his damage a little bit, because he is generally a bit lacking in damage, but the Drow and the Venge buffing him up should make him a pretty scary hero to go up against.
Hurry.
In the mid game. Also, it gives them a little bit more tower push, because you don't always want the Drow to be the only one hitting the tower. She is pretty vulnerable, but they do have the Venge, so this is a pretty scary lineup for Team Burninate, and I'm not really sure that Dota Bros Inc. has what they need to take this. They're gonna finish off the draft for the Jug. This is okay against the Undying and Ogre. Jug does okay against these two. He has to worry about not getting decayed too much and then punched down by the Undying. But the other thing is they don't really have a way to deal with the Tombstone. You don't want your Jug wasting his right clicks on the Tombstone, especially because he has to get nice up close and personal. Might have to see an early blink from the Jug to get on top of the Tombstone. So hopefully Evoli on the Undying, he can put the Tombstone in pretty difficult places to get to. And I'm not really sure how Dota Bros Inc. can approach the team fight after this. Put my money on Team Burninate on this one. It's probably 80 to 20 matchup. Honestly, they've got a pretty scary lineup to go up against. It's Disruptor. It's a nice cosmetic on the Disruptor. So let's hop into the game. We've got on the side of Google Team Burninate, we've got River on the Drow Ranger, Vibe on the Venge, Vikubi on the Dragon Knight, Evoli on the Undying, sounds like a disease, and Jams on the Ogre Magi. We've got on the side of Dota Bros Inc., aka HP Dota, we've got Pseudo on the Disruptor, James on the Skywrath Mage, Morglum on the Shadow Shaman, Pancake on the Juggernaut, and Revan Chisholm on the Axe. He's gonna dig up a ghost, which is just gonna annoy him using his battle pass. He's got a lot of levels. So it's going to be Undying in the support, actually, interestingly enough. Which means Ogre is the offlaner, I believe. It kind of looks like the Venge is gearing up to be the core here. She's got a Wraith Band queued up, which you probably won't see on a support Venge. So, going to be position 3 Venge instead of the Ogre or the Undying. Not the most natural offlaner, but if she does get farm, she can definitely tank up a bit and try and stay alive. But now, the problem with core Venge is you're not really willing as much to use your Nether Swap defensively, because usually it involves giving up your own life, and if you're a core, you don't want to do that. You want to stay alive and deal your damage. But it's going to be 2 for 2 bounty runes, nothing too crazy happening here. Ogre skilled Ignite at level 1, which is pretty good, I reckon. Fire Blast isn't generally that good at level 1. See what the Ogre wants to go for, maybe just become a Bloodlust, but he's not the one buying wards though, so he will get some farm compared to this Undying, who is gonna... Look how many wards he's queued up, man. That's a lot of wards. This man is... he knows what his ambitions are this game. So... Ogre and Venge up against the Jug and the Disruptor. This is going to be pretty painful for them. The Disruptor does a lot of damage. This level 1 Thunderstrike does 45 times 180 damage. It's the highest level 1 damage nuke in the game. And Venge doesn't have a whole lot of HP, 620. She did bring 5 tangos with her though, so it's not too bad. It's 1 tango equals 1... Is that right? 7 times 16? No, that's not right at all. 7 times 16, 28. The tango doesn't even heal up the Thunderstrike damage. So early point in Dragon Blood for the DK. It's just trying not to get harassed too much by the Skywrath Mage. Can tank through it a little bit. He might pick up the second point when he hits level 3 as well. And then he's going to be very difficult to take down in this lane now. So second point in the Dragon Blood. You can also go for the second point in the Breathe Fire, put a little bit more pressure on the Skywrath Mage. So Sky, there's some interesting mid builds. We see Thompson, he usually doesn't skill the ulti at all because it costs a ton of mana, 300 mana compared to everything else. And honestly, the two Arcane Bolts does, if you have like 3 to 4 Null Talismans, the Arcane Bolt pretty much does... 2 Arcane Bolts do pretty much the same as the Mystic Flare. Obviously, you lose a bit of burst, but you get that mana sustain, which is pretty nice. The second point on Dragon Blood for the DK, and Google Team Burninate, they're already topping the net worth charts. This Jug not really able to approach the lane. No, he doesn't have a Quelling Blade. It's much harder for him to last hit. His base damage isn't actually that high. He's just got a good attack animation, but you really do need the Quelling Blade to last hit with him. It's a little bit tough. Venge somehow managing to get a pretty decent chunk of last hits. She is ranged, and has a pretty good attack animation herself. The projectile animation is very fast as well, so it's not too bad for her. So with the last hit advantage, the base damage advantage against the Jug, it should be a lot easier for the Venge to get CS in this lane. So Drow gonna go for more Wraith Bands. Wraith Band did get nerfed in the next patch. And Axe, he's poor. He's not doing well this lane. No points in the Battle Hunger, a very big mistake for Axe. I think this is like seems like a really old school Axe, but there's no way he's gonna get close enough to get the call on Drow range. She can just oh, we got big lag spikes here. I mean, she can always just use the Frost Arrows and slow him down, and Axe now taking a lot of hurt. He can get the decayed again. 2 points in the decay from the Undying. We don't really see this one too often, but the cooldown reduction is pretty nice. A little bit of bonus damage as well, 30 extra damage. The problem with the decay build is you don't really have enough mana to keep spamming it. 450 mana is a pretty decent chunk, but these cost 85 per pop. And this Undying, he doesn't have that much mana regen left. He's just got a Clarity and a Mango, so probably one more big round of spells and then he's going to be completely dry. He does have boots already though. Drought just farming away here. DK also way ahead in the net worth chart, last hits chart. He's yeah, he doesn't really care about the Skywrath anymore. 3 points in the Dragon Blood this early on. He's got 74 base damage plus the Quelling Blade against Skywrath's 68. And Skywrath gonna go for an early boots. I do think this is like a really big difference between the high level mid players and the lower level mid players is when you go for boots. Mid is a 1v1. You really want to focus. Actually, in the meantime, Axe goes down to the Drow Ranger, and Shadow Shaman is in a lot of trouble as well because Zombie's slowing him down with the Frost Arrows as well. He's gonna go down here, double kill for River, and this Disruptor, he can't stand here that long either. Absolutely perfect, thanks to OD Pixel. So what I was gonna say is the boots timing is really important for mid. You want to pick up your boots when you want to leave the lane, because usually, boots doesn't, unless you're a melee hero, boots doesn't really help you in the lane. It just lets you. It doesn't make you stronger. It doesn't give you any stats that help you fight. And in a 1v1, stats are everything. DK gonna pop his Dragon Form straight away as soon as he hits level 6 and pressure this tower pretty heavily. Get the remnants of a DD rune as well. Now it gets the Drow Aura for the Precision Aura. So this tower under a lot of siege. Hopefully he tries to spam this wave out as quickly as possible. He just needs to keep the Corrosive Breath on the tower and it'll slowly tick down. So now that Skywrath has boots, this could have been a null talisman. Maybe his arcane bolts would hurt a bit more. Maybe against the DK, he's acknowledging that the arcane bolt spam isn't going to be that useful. Looks like Undying spotted the Shadow Shaman going towards. Actually, the Creep's just following him. But the DK, I don't really think he has anything to be scared about. He should really hit this tower with the Corrosive Breath. Probably could have gotten this tower to like 2/3 of the health if he just got the Corrosive Breath on it the whole time. Bit of a under optimization here for the DK. He's got an Arcane Rune now, so he can spam those Breathe Fires. We'll see what he wants to go for next. I think he's probably acknowledge it. He should know he's like pretty much invincible right now. He doesn't need the 4th point in Dragon's Blood. Just get more points in the Breathe Fire. Shadow Shaman went mid. He dropped he threw an Ether Shock onto the DK, but then wasn't really able to get much out of it. And I think yeah, the tooltips are completely wrong here. This has definitely been played on 7.21 D, but the tooltip is showing that this Ether Shock is costing 120 mana instead of 105. Drought, she's in a lot of danger. Getting chased down by the Battle Hunger. She might go down here. One more chop from the Axe, but Drought, she is healing up with the Tango, but the Battle Hunger is about to run out. The slow is over from the Battle Hunger. The Noble points. Another last hit. Right click from the Disruptor will finish off the Drow. The Disruptor getting a lot of damage with the level 2 Thunderstrike. Not something you see that often. Normally you want to go like 1-for-1 on the Disruptor. The Glimpse is pretty bad at early levels. Jug actually managing to get a kill on the Venge as well, so just not even a Shackle being used. I'm not really sure how they got that kill without the Shackle. Venge just used her stun. Just played a bit too aggressively here. And I'm interested in what this Venge is gonna go for. I think if you're an offlaner, maybe you want to go for like a Vlad's Jug. He's in a lot of danger. He might get taken down here. One more hit. He just barely makes it out. Bit unfortunate there. I feel like this is like maybe just a Vlad's and maybe a Medallion. Don't really see offlane Venge too often. Undying finished up his arcade boost 8 minutes into the game, so he's off to a great start. He's going to be able to spam out the decays all game. He's 3 points into decay now. Axe and Disruptor looking for the DK, but they don't really think they have a way to kill him. It's pretty tanky. His Axe is only level 4. He's got 15 last hits. He's pretty much dumpstered. Even the Jug as well is pretty dumpstered himself. Only 2k net worth against the 3k of Drow Ranger. And Drow, once she hits level 6 and she's almost there, she's got it now. Her farm just accelerates through the roof. I can just go to the jungle and start killing creeps. No ancient stacks for her yet, but she can take them now if she wants. Ogre, gotta go for the meme this, the Midas on Ogre. It's a 70% chance to get a multicast, which is pretty nice for him. Then you can just, I mean, if you don't get it on your first Midas cast, it just feels really terrible. But heavily relying on the RNG, he acts in a lot of danger. The marksmanship shot will come out and the Sorep will finish off the axe. And they can take this tower now. They've got the zombies to tank up for the creeps, but Drow, she's in a little bit of trouble. The Skywrath Mage comes in at the T2 instead of the T1, so they could have sandwiched her there, and she doesn't have any points in, she has a point in Gust now. 2-1-2, I think this is definitely the right build on Drow. I don't think you do need the Gust. Sometimes you just end up in a sticky situation. DK TP top, take the top tower as well. He also already took the mid tower, so great use of his dragon form. He's still got it up for a while. He can pressure the next tower. 10-minute boundaries are coming up. It looks like it's going to be 3 for 1.
I'll take that.
Go in the way of HP Dota. But instead, they're gonna have a lot of pressure put on this this T2 tower. The siege creep is pretty far away though, so it's not gonna arrive anytime soon. They spot the disruptor TPing away with the courier. And Drow, she's down here by herself, but it looks like she's gonna be okay. They get the slow onto the Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman's gonna go down here. Pretty easy kills for the Drow Ranger. It's time to max the precision aura. Let's get the extra attack speed.
Dire's top tower is being attacked.
DK gonna take out this T2 tower. Pretty uncontested. 4k gold lead already for Team Burninate, and pretty big XP advantage as well. 2.5k. Looks like the Skywrath, he's not quite at his ATOS yet. They really need him to make some space because this axe, he's so far behind. He's just gonna go for a blink first. I think this is the right choice for him. Just try and get something done on the map, but it's going to be pretty hard for him to get the blink because you really need the Vanguard to tank the creeps, and because he doesn't have it, you can't really go to the jungle and catch up. It's a big problem. The Drought Aura also turned on. They're going to take this T1 tower with the siege creep and the Drought Aura. Pretty nice there. And it's time to just back out. Dragonlance coming up on the Drow Ranger. Hopefully she goes for the 4-staff immediately afterwards. I think it would be pretty beneficial for her this game, especially against the Sky. Once he gets the ATOS, you can always just 4-staff out of the ATOS and dodge the Mystic Flare. It kind of renders this like ATOS timing a bit null and void. You can't get the Drow by herself anymore. Maybe you can grab one of the supports. The Ogre is pretty vulnerable as well. So Tread's done on the Venge. We'll see what she wants to go for next. I think Vlad's might be the right choice here. Just get that early game armor, lifesteal, and damage aura. It's pretty nice. DK in a lot of trouble. He's going to go down. He gets dunked by the axe. But in the meantime, they managed to get the T2 tower at bot. The fort comes out. Looks like Team Burninate, they're having a bit of cold feet. They definitely could have taken it, but the safe option is to back out. They're one man down. So, but they got a lot of damage on the T2 tower in exchange for the DK death. And I mean, the next time Drow Ranger turns on her aura, they can definitely just take this tower with the creeps by themselves. The siege creep is not going to spawn for a while. So Undying is the one who's going to go for Greaves, but he's the position 5, so it's going to be quite a while before he gets the Greaves. Venge gets a magic missile onto the disruptor, but she's aggressively swapped forward and going to be in a lot of danger. The blink dagger forward from the DK, nice blink reveal from him. They split the damage on the Mystic Flare. The Venge ends up going down anyway. The DK in a little bit of trouble. They don't have anything to catch him though. He's pretty fast in the DK form. And Drow will just take this tower at bottom in the meantime. So they trade the Venge for the T2 tower, and it's pretty worth it for the side of Team Burninate. Bring forward again, Dragon Tail onto the Jug. The Ogre isn't able to catch up in time and get the Fire Blast off the Omni Slash onto the Ogre, but it's not doing a whole lot of damage. The Jug doesn't have any damage items yet. He'll get Fire Blasted and killed. The Healing Ward goes down as well. So very big waste of an ultimate. Blink forward again from the DK onto the Shadow Charm this time. The Shadow Charm's gonna go down as well. Axe saves him, buys a little bit of time by calling, but he's putting himself in a lot of danger. Drow Ranger's here now. Come after taking the bot lane, she comes in, steals the kill onto the Axe with the marksmanship shot, and we can take this tower as well. The DK form is expired now, but they can go for the Roche pretty safely. There's no outer towers anymore. This is when Venge, yeah, she's going for the Vlads now, but doesn't have it yet, so this Roche might be pretty tough for them to take without any lifesteal. They're gonna be pretty low after this. The DK needs to come in and tank for his team, because the rest of his team, they don't have a whole lot of armor. Well, Venge has a pretty decent amount. I guess so does Ogre. But without lifesteal, this is they're gonna take a lot of damage here. Ogre, he's in a lot of danger. One more swipe. Oh, the slam almost kills the Ogre there. And DK is finally here, not tanking for the Roche. Venge is taking all the hurt right now. And Roche goes down. Drow is going to be the one to pick it up, so she can just siege the tower from low ground. Almost done with her Hurricane Pike, about 50 gold away. Mech almost done on the Undying. And DK gotta go for a BKB next. I feel like this game's gonna be over well before that. Ogre has been sitting on this Midas recipe for a while, but just hasn't had a chance to farm up. The 15-minute banners come out. It's gonna be 2 for 2. We'll see if HP Dota, they want to try and take this bot tower. They have the Serpent Wards. It's probably worth it to drop it at this point, because they're pretty far behind, and this is super scary. They don't know where the enemy team is, so maybe they spotted it out with this ward. Wards do go down. The creep wave is going to die soon though, so once the creep wave dies, the wards are in a lot of danger. But the siege creep is here now, the next creep wave as well. DK blinks in aggressively. He gets called because he doesn't get the Dragon Tail off in time. The Omni Slash is up in 6 seconds. Glimpse back on the DK, and they've got the Omni Slash now. Hopefully it doesn't bounce too much onto the siege creep. Omni Slash comes out, bounces back onto the siege creep unfortunately, and a few hits on dying as well. And Axe will go down in the backline to a decay. The Disruptor in a lot of trouble as well. Jug, he just doesn't have any damage items. And meanwhile, Drow, Ogre, and Venge, they're up here. Drow taking a lot of damage from the Skywrath mage. The Skywrath gets aggressively swapped in. He'll go down as well. 3 down on the side of HP Dota without buyback, and they're going to be able to take this lane of Rax pretty freely. Jug gets swapped forward, but he's just going to spin out of there. Shadow Shaman in the meantime gets multicasted by the Fire Blast, but not going to be too much happening there. The Drow, she doesn't have her aura right now. She salves up. Blink call from the Axe. He actually has a blink already, but the Drow didn't get caught by the blink. She's going to go down. The Aegis is down now. We'll see if Ogre is able to save her. This will be a pretty big kill. They managed to get the Drow range. The Axe ends up going down. Glimpse back onto the Drow range, but she's going to take out the Jug. In the meantime, one more shot will finish him off, and now the Disruptor going to go down as well. The Shadow Shaman in a lot of trouble, and it's going to be 4 down. Skywrath's back. He's going to be able to push them out, I think. There's no more swaps for the Venge to get him out of position. Spam that Mystic Flare and the Arcane Bolts. The Mystic Flare is up. The Silence onto the Skywrath though will just barely clip him, so he won't be able to get the kill onto the Drow Ranger. And now she might be in a bit of trouble. Completely whiffs the Mystic Flare though, so Drow doesn't have any fear. Aggressive blink forward from the Axe, manages to catch both heroes. The dunk onto the Ogre Magi, but the Axe is not going to be able to run away from this. 60% slow on the Drow Ranger. The Serpent Wards come out as well. Shackles onto the DK. He's pretty tanky. He's going to go down here. But now the Jug is in a lot of danger. This Drow just being able to pummel away from the sides. This is a pretty long team fight. Glimpse forward. Glimpse back onto the Drow Ranger. But she's just going to be able to force staff out of the Undying. Might go down in the meantime. The Thunderstrike should finish him off in the next one. Soul Rip. And actually he's going to be okay. The Ether Shock not in range. So Undying just gonna barely make it out there. That was a really long fight. They managed to take the tier 3 towers, so the shrines are up. Axe with his blink reveal actually did quite a bit of work there. He's gonna go for a Blade Mail next. I like this a lot. He definitely needs it. The Drow gonna go for a BKB next, so she can just completely ignore 3 of the 5 heroes on the side of HP Dota. Disruptor can't glimpse her back in. Shadow Shaman and the Skywrath Mage won't be able to do anything to her either. So I do like this pickup for the BKB. Dragonite also going for his own BKB, actually picked up the Mithril Hammer first, which is a little bit odd, but I suppose he's tanky enough. And the mech now done on dying. He's only 600 gold away from the Guardian Greaves. They're going to take this shrine now, so another 150 gold in his pocket. Actually, he bought a cloak for some reason. Not really sure what this one's about. He definitely should have just finished off the Greaves, because now, once he gets the Greaves, like, no one's going to be able to die on the side of Team Burninate. But this game might slow down a little bit, but this is kind of HP Dota's time to try and get some pickoffs. They're pretty split up on the side of Team Burninate right now. Ogre spots out the Jug. He's just going to spin out of this. He doesn't get fire blasted. And it's just these two. They could definitely take them on if they get a nice blink call. They should go for a smoke and try and get a pickoff here. Shadow Shaman, he's going for an Aether Lens, but he didn't. He wants to keep his Arcane Boost. I'm not really sure if this is the right choice. The Arcane Boost not going to help him that much during a fight, so having the double energy booster isn't really that helpful. Really want to get the extra cast range. It's worth giving up the mana regen for the mana restoration ability from the Arcane Boots for the extra cast range. You can always pick up the other energy booster later. Avenge with the Vlad's now also going probably for her own Hurricane Pike. 20-minute bounty rune. It's going to be 4 for Team Burninate. Their win rate, it plateaued at 100% a while ago after they took all the outer towers in the Roshan. But gonna just play it safe. They've got a DD now at the bot rune as well. So if Drow can see that, she might take it. Doesn't look like it. It's pretty good on DK as well. So it looks like they're just gonna wait for their BKBs. This is the safe option. DK and Drow, they're pretty close now. Drow has the money for her BKB now. Venge actually gets picked off by the Jug and the Skywraths, and Atos into a Mystic Flare will finish off the Vengeful Spirit. Pretty nice pickup for them. Actually got a pretty decent chunk of gold, 480 for a position 3 Venge. The DK, he should have his BKB now as well, but the Drow not taking the courier away. This is a little bit of poor courier management there. You kind of need to look at what your teammates are going for and then see if they're close to items. Just do one trip because they're on the other side of the map. Drow's gonna pick up the DD now. This is getting really scary for HP Dota. So DK now not gonna get any his BKB for this fight, but it's fine. You probably don't need it. They're spotted under this observer ward though, so HP Dota will be able to see them there. Doesn't Ogre's gonna drop a sentry, but he doesn't go for it. But this DD now on the Drow Ranger and also the Bloodlust on the Siege Creep. There's no precision aura for the Drow right now, and Ogre's just gonna stand the front lines to tank. Blink forward aggressively from the DK. Serpent Wards come out to try and help defend the tower, but Drow's just gonna take him out from the low ground. Meanwhile, aggressive swap forward onto the Shadow Shaman will take him out. Blink forward onto the Axe. He gets 2 heroes. He takes out the Undying pretty quickly, but he gives his life away for it. The Jug tries to spin TP out, but he gets taken out as well. The buyback on the Axe now, and Blink forward again from the Dragonite onto the Skywrath Mage, but Skywrath will just be able to walk out of there. Meanwhile, Drow and the rest of her team taking out the Rax. So 2 buybacks forced out already. Disruptor has a buyback if he wants to use it. It looks like they got a retreat for now. The DK, he's got his courier, his BKB bought now. And looks like they're just gonna go down mid as well. Probably take top is a little bit easier because they already took out the tower at top. But the Serpent Wards are down now, so it's going to be a lot harder for them to defend this. The Static Storm is also down for 30 more seconds. Axe, he might be in a little bit of trouble here, but he's got a blink. If his reaction speeds are fast enough, he'll be okay. SOY next on the Venge. I guess it doesn't really matter what she buys at this point. An Aether Lens done now on Ogre. That's pretty huge. He hopefully took the... He didn't take the cast range talent, but the extra Fire Blast range is really nice for him. These Cliff Wards not being dewarded. They had the Venge as well, so they can just put the Sentry on the low ground and use the Wave of Terror to get some vision. Actually, HP Dota, they actually do have pretty decent vision, but they're so far behind right now, it's going to be super difficult for them to get back into the game. Jug forced to spin out after 3 shots from the Drow Ranger. Glimpse forward onto the Undying, but he's got that Greed. It's going to be pretty tough to take him down. He yeah, just walks out of there. Meanwhile, the Shadow Shaman goes down, and he doesn't have buyback, so there's going to be a 4v5 aggressive swap forward onto the Skywrath. He's going to get instantly taken out. He has buyback, he has to use it now. And the DK on the side, he was taking care of the Jug and the Axe by himself. The BKB as well. And meanwhile, they get the racks at top lane. It's only mid now. This game's looking pretty over. Fort comes out. Sky, he needs to buy back. I don't think this game's going to last 20 more seconds. No, the racks won't last 20 more seconds. So he buys back. The Tombstone is dropped now. This is going to stop most Blink initiations. Axe, he actually manages to get his Blink off in spite of the zombie hitting him. And Drow, she might go down here. Oh, they didn't focus her with the wards, but she will eventually go down. She 4-stars herself out, but will end up going down. Omni Slash onto the Vengeful Spirit. Doesn't do that much damage. Sky dives back, and it's just the Jug now against the world. He doesn't have any items to boot. It's going to be a full team. GG is called by HP Dota, and we're going to game 2 now. Complete utter domination from Team Burninate. Just the first pick Drow. I mean, that's what this patch is all about. Not too much to comment on there. But hopefully we'll see some adaptations. Maybe Dota Bros Inc. they'll take the Drow instead. We did see that happen with for Velociraptors. They got crushed by a first pick Drow and then pick Drow the next game, but then they got crushed even harder actually. But hopefully we'll just see the Drow banned by one of the teams, and that's some sensible stuff because this Drow's a super good hero in this patch. But yeah, that was pretty much complete utter domination. The Jug just falling completely flat there, and Axe as well. Axe is I don't think Axe is that good right now. He even if you do well, you get to this phase where you have the Blink, Blade Mail, and maybe the Vanguard, and if you're like one of your ganks goes badly, it just feels like the game's over for you. And this Axe, he didn't even have a game. He actually managed to pick up the Blink at a pretty reasonable time, in time for that first base defense. He used it pretty effectively, but there wasn't much follow up after the Blink. He blinked in by himself, and then I think the Jug was dead, and then like the Sky was also dead or something like that. It was looking hopeful once he picked up the Blink, but then there wasn't any follow-up. So hopefully HP Dota / Dota Bros Inc. can step up their game in the second game.